The number one place to get memberships during the Joe Biden era is, of course, joinpakman.com. Grab a membership, get instant access to the bonus show, the commercial-free audio feed, the commercial-free video feed, all of that great stuff, plus the feeling of knowing you are supporting an alternative to homogenous corporate media. Joinpakman.com is the place to do it. And what a day to do it, by the way. There are increasing discussions as we transition from Donald Trump to Joe Biden about the possibility of Joe Biden pardoning Donald Trump. And we have heard from folks on the right. We've heard even from some folks on the left. We've heard from national security figures and others. Maybe Joe Biden should do for the country what Gerald Ford did for the country to Richard Nixon, which is to pardon Nixon the way that Joe Biden could pardon Donald Trump. I think that this is a disastrous idea. And under no circumstances whatsoever should Joe Biden pardon Donald Trump. First of all, merely on the facts, Trump has been way worse than Nixon, much more weaponized, much more dangerous to the United States in terms of what the U.S. is supposed to be as a democracy and everything else that we believed up at least until Donald Trump was elected, the U.S. was supposed to be. Secondly, the mere idea that you would be able to unite with these absolutely delusional Trumpists if Joe Biden were to pardon Donald Trump is a complete and total fantasy. And so when I hear anecdotally people across the political spectrum to differing degrees saying, I don't know, maybe Joe Biden should look at pardoning Donald Trump. Absolutely not. Let's look at some of the arguments. One argument is if Biden pardons Trump, it prevents Trump from pardoning himself, which would be terrible. But the timing doesn't make any sense. By the time Biden can do the pardoning, Trump can no longer do it. Maybe the idea was if Biden sends a signal that he'll pardon Trump, then maybe Trump would. Doesn't make any sense. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. It wouldn't get a single Trumpist to cooperate with the Biden administration. It just will never happen. And if you've been paying attention the last 4 years, how could you possibly think that there's anything Joe Biden could do that would get a significant portion of Trumpists to cooperate with the Biden administration? I heard former FBI Director James Comey, for example, suggesting a pardon, quote, as part of healing the country and getting us to a place where we can focus on things that are going to matter over the next 4 years. Give me a break, Jim. The Trump wing of the Republican Party is not going to heal. They're not going to participate in any healing, at least. That's for sure. If Joe Biden were to pardon Donald Trump, it wouldn't make any difference. It actually may be worse. It may become part of the conspiracy theories. They will say, well, Biden was forced to do it as part of a deal to protect Hunter or some kind of harebrained thing. It won't work. It's nuts to think that it would. Another reason not to pardon Donald Trump is that we need Trump and his family to be as busy as possible dealing with civil lawsuits, investigations, and possible charges that will come to the Trump organization, to the Trump campaign, and maybe even to Trump and his family members as well, because that may actually be what prevents Donald Trump from running again in 2024. Let's not give Trump any escape from years of being stuck in a legal hellhole, which is likely where he's going to end up. Now, in contrast to Richard Nixon had not been impeached. Richard Nixon resigned to avoid impeachment after he lost the support of the Republican Party. Republicans went to Richard Nixon and said, it's over. We will have to convict you in an impeachment if you don't resign. And Nixon resigned. Contrast that with what happened with Trump. Trump has been impeached twice, and Republicans have basically stayed with Trump. Okay, Mitt Romney on one count in the first impeachment voted to convict. So far, we don't know when the second impeachment trial of Trump will be, but so far, 10 Republican members of the House voted to impeach Trump last week, but the vast majority of Republican voters are still with Donald Trump. With Nixon, there was actually a reason to say, listen, Republicans came together with Democrats. They all went to Nixon and they said, you've got to go. We will impeach if you don't go. There is at least more of an arguable defense of pardoning Nixon. The Trump fiasco is the opposite. Trump has refused to even consider that he did anything wrong, never mind resignation. Republicans stood by Trump during impeachment number one, despite obvious signs that Trump must go, and he was descending further and further into the authoritarianism that we saw around the November 2020 election. So by pardoning Trump, you are in effect also excusing the behavior of the Republican Party in standing by him and in spreading disinformation. So the situation is drastically different. And then lastly, although Trump and the Republican Party claim to be the party of law and order, they're not. We saw Trump's scofflaw nature his entire presidency. We saw the January 6th Trump riots. We know that they are the furthest thing from the party of law and order. For Joe Biden to pardon Trump would be to effectively say you are now immune from lawbreaking. Joe Biden should be the president of law and order, which means he can't pardon Donald Trump. But on the other hand, it should be Joe Biden will not be involved in any Trump investigation. Joe Biden should simply say to his Justice Department, to whoever, I will have nothing to do with investigations into the former president. I won't ask you to investigate, and I will not ask you not to. Work through the evidence, work through allegations, and do what you need to do. That's law and order. What Trump has done is not law and order. Now, is there any reason to think Joe Biden plans to pardon Donald Trump? There is not. Joe Biden has previously said he would not pardon Trump. We know lately more and more people have been saying Biden should pardon Trump. But hopefully, as far as we know right now, Joe Biden has not changed his mind on that. And I hope that he does not. If you disagree with me, let me know. I want to hear from you.